Now, I hear that you love making what we're about to make. Is that right? And you might have made this before. Maybe? Kind of? You've at least tasted it before.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, today we are in the kitchen with the lovely Abby. Thanks for coming to cook with me, Abby. Are you excited?
Yeah.
We're going to try doing some pretty cool stuff with this really awesome pile of green, aren't we? Now, can you please tell us what this pile of green is?
Kale.
Kale. And do you know if kale comes in different kinds? Like, are there different looks and feel, the different leaves of kale? Have you seen different ones? No? Okay. Well, this is only one version of kale. There's a whole bunch of other different kinds. This one's called curly kale. Does that fit its name?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Okay, so basically what we're going to be making today is called kale chips. Nice and crispy, nice and crunchy like a chip. But why do you think it'd be better that we have chips made out of kale than always having maybe potato chips or something like that? Why would it be better?
Because it's healthier.
Right. And what is it about this that makes it maybe slightly healthier than potatoes? Do you know what it's high in?
Vitamin C.
Yes. Awesome. That is the #1 most amazing nutrient about kale. And vitamin C is so important on so many different things in the body, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are there many fruits and veggies that have vitamin C in them?
Yeah, but veggies have more vitamin C than fruits.
Interesting. Okay, so tell me more. So you were studying a bit of vitamin C facts, and you found a list of the vitamin C contents in vegetables versus fruit. Is that right?
Yeah.
And do you remember specifically what was maybe really high on the list? No? I think you're right though. I think just off the top of my memory, in terms of like the regular foods that we would be eating, I think kale is way up there, along with parsley, believe it or not. Parsley is really high in vitamin C. And I think capsicum are way up there, really high in vitamin C. And you're right, they might be even higher than our fruit. Okay, so we've made kale chips before, yeah? So can you tell me, I'm just standing here plucking kale, but how do we actually do this? Okay, so this is going to be the fun trick. So what we've already done is we've already washed the kale. And Abby's going to help me have another little inspection. Can you grab a leaf and have a little inspection? Because sometimes we get little critters that like hiding in all those little curls. So we just want to make sure there's no little critters in there. Is that one a good leaf? You want to do another leaf? Critter inspection. It's kind of like we're monkeys. Do you ever see the monkeys? How they go and pick the nits off each other? We're just trying to find that hopefully there's nothing to deal with. Got nice clean kale. Do you have like a garden at home? Or are you growing anything in pots?
We're growing pineapples.
Cool. That'd be fun. That takes a while though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You have to be patient. You're probably going to be how old by the time you get to pick that pineapple? They take 2 years to grow. So how old are you going to be when you get to pick it?
11.
11. Is that a long time to wait? Is that going to be the best pineapple you've ever tasted though?
Probably.
Probably. Okay. So here's the trick. If we've got our clean kale, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of just clear up a bit of the stalk. So let's pinch off a little bit of the stem. Good stuff. And then that's going to be our handle. Okay? And with the other hand, we're going to kind of put our pointer finger and our thumb around the stem, and we're going to do one big motion and strip the kale off the stem. Is that cool? Try that. Takes a bit of muscle. Yes, she's got it. Woohoo! That's perfect. And if it breaks, sometimes that's okay because that's actually then going to be a soft enough part of the stem that we could still use. But if we're in doubt, we can just try it again. So we break off a little bit more of that bit of stem, so we have a handle, and then maybe you can try, oh, one more. Okay, so that means that one's okay. It's not going to be too tough. Okay, should we do another one? You want to do this one? So we got our little handle, pinch around the end, woof. Yes, nailed it. It's kind of fun, isn't it? This is my favorite part. Kale stripping. It's fun, right?
Yeah.
Take this. Ooh, that one broke too. Let's see if we can get another one off there. So fun and so easy. Now, the reason why we're not using the stems in this recipe, any ideas? Have you ever chewed on one of these?
No.
Pretty tough, aren't they? And sometimes maybe a little bit bitter. But they're really stringy. Like, look at those strings. They're like even stringier than celery. So they can be eaten, and they're really good for you. So if you want to eat them, that would be amazing. But in the case of us wanting some nice, delicate, crispy chips, That's probably why we need to remove these, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you have a guinea pig at home, do you think they would love these though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have guinea pigs?
No.
No.
Sadly.
Do you have hamsters?
No.
Okay. Do you've got, what else can we eat? We eat this. Do you have chickens?
Yes.
Well, then you can take these home to the chickens because I bet you they will love this. Cool? There we go. So no waste. There's always a way around that. Let's finish getting all of our kale ready. You are going to be a pro at this. You already are. Look at that. Look at those muscles. Yes. Nailed it. And now we've chosen too small of a bowl, haven't we?
Yeah.
I don't have a bigger bowl right now, so we're just going to make this one work. Okay, we'll save these guys for the chickens. That'll be kind of fun. Now, we can have really big kale chips. Is that going to be edible?
No.
No, okay. So maybe we should keep breaking this up, hey? So we'll make a pile on the board. Just keep breaking these up in just slightly smaller pieces. They are going to shrink a lot when we cook them. It's kind of like almost like a disappearing trick, because you'll see that the tray will be so full when we start, but by the time we cook them, they kind of shrivel up into nothing. So they don't have to be too small, but that would be too big, wouldn't it? It's like a skirt. Just wear that as a fancy dress. Okay. Oh, this stuff's so good for us. Love this stuff. Isn't it amazing, like when you think about it, that nature can actually grow that? Like, how does it know how to do that versus growing a carrot? How does it know the difference? Any ideas? I don't know. I'm just asking. So what's your favorite subject at school at the moment?
Probably maths.
Maths. Awesome. And what are you specifically learning in maths? Are you doing like you've done your addition, you've done your subtraction, have you?
Yeah, and we're kind of like working on division.
Oh, you're doing division. So you've already done multiplication.
Yeah.
Okay. And how's division going?
Good.
Good? Getting there? Shall we practice some division? No. Silly, Ashley. Don't be crazy. That's all right. But there are lots of opportunities in the kitchen that we could practice our maths, isn't there? Okay. So do you think our sizes are pretty good? We've filled the bowl. We've emptied the bowl. Now what are we going to do?
Put it on tray.
Yep. We're going to massage some oil and some salt into them first so that they form their nice chip. Okay? So maybe we'll just put a little bit more in the bowl for now. And we might do this in two parts because we've got a lot of kale here.
Yeah.
Sound like a good idea? So either we get a bigger bowl and we do it all at once, or we're going to do it in halves. Okay, so we're going to need a tablespoon of olive oil. Can you please find me the tablespoon, the big guy? Yes. Now when I pour this in here and you pour it over the kale, can you try and get an even drizzle over the kale, not just dump it in one location? Okay, so we've got 1 tablespoon of oil, nicely drizzled over. Good work, Abby. And we only need that tiniest spoon, which is the 1/4 teaspoon, of salt for the whole thing. So let's try and get half of that. Can you grab like a half of that of salt? Well, yeah, use that spoon, but only fill it up halfway. Can you do that? Just approximate. So here's a little trick. If we took 1/4 teaspoon and we only used half of it, that means we're dividing by 2. That's all right, that was a tricky one, wasn't it? Okay, so give that an even sprinkle over, nice and even. Yep, that's good. Okay, now this is going to be your bowl, and now we have to massage the kale. Yes, and we need to get all the oil into all the little crevices of all the little corners of all the little curls, so that we get a really good, even kale chip. Yeah, that's good. So you want to do that little massaging trick, like making sure the oil gets into all of them. You want to turn it around. And you can even be a little bit tough with it, right? Because kale's pretty tough.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that salt gets all mixed around, so maybe move it around. Nice. Okay, so you're going to do yours on the bowl, and I'm going to use this cutting board, and I'm going to pretend this is my bowl. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So give that a good little, it's perfect with your fingers, right? Little fingers, because you can get in there and get all the little crevices. Make sure we get a nice, even kale chip experience. Whew, yes. Yummy. Yum. Okay. A little pinch of salt. So here's another math thing. Mind you, you haven't got to fractions yet, so I don't expect you to know this. Don't freak out, it's okay. When you get to fractions, see how this is called the 1/4 teaspoon? 1/4?
Yeah.
So if we're only going to use half of it, then we're going to change that bottom number. We actually have to change the bottom number to double it. So it's like, if I'm only using half of this, it's a 1/8 of a teaspoon.
Okay.
So that's when you get into fractions, and that's going to be really fun. Maths is a pretty useful subject though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be really helpful in life that you know good maths? Yeah, I think so too. And what about other, so you've got chickens at home, you said. How many?
6.
6 chickens. Wow. And are they just fun play chickens, or do you get lots of eggs from them, or do they do lots of scratching around of your garden?
They do lots of scratching around. Yeah.
Yeah? Do they help fertilize your garden, or just make a mess?
Just make a mess.
And do you have any other animals?
We have a dog called Lucy, bees, and also 4 fish.
And 4 fish. And bees. That's cool. So you have your own hive at home.
Yeah, they're native Australian bees.
So they're just the itty bitty ones, are they? The ones that don't sting? Cool. Well, that'd be good to help pollinate your garden, all the flowers and the trees and stuff. Okay, so do you think you have enough oil massaged into all corners of the kale? It looks
Yeah, I
pretty
think so.
covered, because you can kind of see the color change, right? So the areas where we get the oil, it changes color from being kind of a sage color to a bit darker. That's how we know we've got the oil on there. And it would be cheating for us to add more oil. We don't want to do that, because otherwise the chips are not going to turn crispy. They're just going to go soggy. So don't try to cheat by adding extra oil, otherwise they'll be soggy on you. This is the part where we get to send our love through our hands into the food, and then when we eat that food, do you think our body knows the difference between if these hands were angry when they made it,
Yeah.
or if they were happy? Do you think the body can then feel the difference when we eat the food?
Yeah.
It definitely can, right? It's all about the energy we put into it. Okay, so I think we're all well massaged. Now we just need to put it onto a tray and get it into that oven. So this oven has been preheating already for us. Isn't that a pretty awesome big tray?
Yeah.
If you don't have one this big, you can obviously use more than just one. So can you maybe spread your kale on there? And we want to try and get a little bit of space between them, but maybe we'll just try to fit everything on one tray today. Okay. If your kale is taking a while to dry, or some bits are really crispy and other bits are a little bit soggy, it's probably because you've got too much on the tray at once.
Yeah.
But we'll try and fit it in there. It'll be just. This is just maybe too tight enough, or too tight, but we should be okay. And by the time the kale shrinks a little bit, maybe we can readjust and move it around.
Yeah.
I think you did a really good job. That looks really evenly oiled. Well done. Maybe we can squish a bit more on this side. Okay. And they're pretty quick and easy. So I've only got the oven at 150 degrees Celsius, and they're probably only going to need about 10, maybe 15 minutes. But then if we want to make them extra crispy, then we can leave them in the oven with the oven turned off for a little bit longer to just finish drying them up. Good work. You're finding all the good empty spots. Beautiful. Looking good. This is probably the fastest way to see an entire bunch of kale disappear, isn't it? When we have them as chips. It's easy to eat a lot of them, isn't it? Go ahead. All right, well, we'll put them in the oven, and then we'll come back in about 10-15 minutes and show you what that's like. Okay, might be hot. Heads up. Well done. Yes. Cool. And now we can clean up, and then we can get ready to eat. Oh, we got some bonus bits. What's it like raw? Tastes like a salad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, can we smell the kale chips? Kind of, sort of, not really. We definitely don't want them to be burnt, but they've had their time in the oven, about 10, maybe 12 minutes. And we wanted to make sure that they didn't get too hot in there, so I let the the heat out of the oven a couple of times. But I think we're pretty much ready to check on them. What do you think? Let's go in this way. Now careful, that'll be really hot. Okay. Coming through hot. Look at that big platter of kale chips. Look how much they shrunk. Can you believe that? There was no space on the tray when we put it in, was there? So, what do you think? Are they going to be cool enough for us to taste? Are they crispy enough? Oh, they sound crispy. Yum. There's maybe a couple there that we could go a bit longer, but what do you think? They just fall apart in your mouth, don't they? They're so crispy. Can you believe how quickly that happened? Yummy. Do they need anything else? Happy with that? Good little party snack? Well, there you go. You have officially made. Is this your very first batch you've made? Like from scratch?
Yeah.
Well, I think you nailed it. Thanks, Abby. Thanks for cooking with me. There we have. Now you have to present your dish and say, check out my kale chips.
These are my beautiful kale chips.
Yes!
I made.
Yes, you did. You so did. Well done. Awesome. So, do you think we're going to share them with anyone? We're going to sneak them aside. We'll sneak them aside. Step away.